So today I would like to share a story about language learning, and I think it'll be useful for anyone who wants to learn a language or is already learning a language. And it's about a boy who started learning a second language at a language school, and he didn't think he was good at learning languages. He never felt that talented. It always took him a while to learn new words and learn the grammar, but he was a good student. He tried to do his homework. He would go to school and try to pay attention to the teacher as much as possible, of course. And he started learning that second language when he was 10. And after about 4 years going to school and doing his homework, he would try to already have a conversation in that language, but it was still pretty tough. Like his understanding wasn't that great, and that's after 4 years trying to learn the language. Okay? And he never felt that great at it. He thought he was terrible at learning languages, but he kept going. He kept going, and he kept learning that language, kept taking his course. Once he was done the whole program, he actually moved to that country, and it took him another 2 years to actually become fluent. So in total, 8 years to learn how to speak that language well. And then he was finally fluent in it. And he thought to himself, wow, that took forever. Is there any way that I can learn a language faster? So he started learning other languages. And his third language actually only took him 4 years to become fluent in. So he shortened that time in half, right? Because first it took him 8 years to learn that second language. And then he kept going. He kept learning languages simultaneously, and then he would become fluent in about 3 years, and then in shorter amounts of time, progressively shorter. So he went from being terrible at learning languages to actually becoming good at learning languages in a way, because he was able to actually become fluent faster in those languages. He was able to learn vocab faster, more efficiently. He was able to have better pronunciation quicker, and essentially learn quicker. And he was more motivated too. So, how did that happen? Well, with all that experience and making mistakes, right? Essentially, with the learning process, he figured out ways to learn effectively. And that boy is me. It took me 8 years to learn English and become fluent in it. And of course, I still have an accent. My mother language is Portuguese. And then I started learning German and French and Spanish, and I became fluent in all of those, and I started learning more languages. And I have good news for everyone who thinks that they're not great at learning languages. You can overcome that. You can overcome that. But the great thing too is that you don't need to take as long as I did to overcome that idea that you're not that great at learning languages. And why is that? What's the shortcut? Well, today there are a lot of polyglots, people that speak multiple languages, but they want to share their ideas with you and their methods and essentially ways to learn a language more efficiently. I'm one of them. You can subscribe to my blog. I hope you do. And you can actually learn how to learn a language more effectively. So you don't have to go through what I think that me and most other polyglots went through, which was essentially not know how to learn a language and take a lot longer with that. And back then, when I started learning languages, I didn't have that. The focus of my teachers, although many were excellent teachers, was just to teach the language, but not teach people how to actually learn them. So that's it. That's the shortcut. Get the advice of polyglots on how to learn a language faster and more effectively. And that way, you're going to become good at learning languages, and then you can learn as many languages as you want. And you're going to be more motivated too, because you're going to be progressing quickly, which is great. So good luck, my friends, learning a new language.